What if the most profound rebellion in cosmic history wasn't Lucifer's fall, but the descent of beings far more mysterious? Celestial princes who abandoned their heavenly thrones, not out of pride, but for forbidden love. What if these divine beings, these sons of God, built a hidden kingdom on earth that still exists in shadow, waiting for the veil between worlds to be lifted once more? Segment 1. The Mystery. In the breathless hush before the first light, when the void still trembled with the echoes of creation, heaven's order stood unmarred. The cosmic symphony played in perfect harmony, each celestial being fulfilling its divine purpose. Yet beneath this perfect tapestry, an unseeable fracture was forming, a ripple of forbidden desire that would forever alter the relationship between heaven and earth. The Book of Genesis, chapter 6, verses 1 through 4, contains perhaps the most cryptic and haunting passage in all of Scripture. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. 4 brief verses. A mere 69 words in most translations, yet within this passage lies one of the most profound mysteries of biblical literature. Who were these sons of God that looked upon mortal women with desire? What forbidden kingdom did they build? And why does almost every ancient culture remember them in their mythology? Segment 2. Biblical Contrast. To understand this cosmic drama, we must first understand what the biblical authors meant by sons of God. In Hebrew, they are called Bene Elohim, literally, sons of the divine beings. This term appears multiple times throughout the Old Testament, and in nearly every instance it refers not to mortal men, but to celestial beings, divine entities who dwelled in the heavenly court. In the book of Job, one of the oldest texts in the Bible, we read, "When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy." Here, the sons of God are clearly heavenly beings who existed before earth's creation, who sang together in the dawn of time. The ancient Near Eastern context reveals an even deeper understanding. In Canaanite texts discovered at Ugarit, divine beings called Bernil or sons of El formed a divine council surrounding the high god El, a heavenly court of luminous beings who administered cosmic order. This council of divine beings appears throughout the Hebrew Bible, as in Psalm 82, God stands in the divine assembly. Among the divine beings, he pronounces judgment. These were not men of dust, but beings of celestial fire, radiant, powerful, and immortal, until something changed within them. Segment 3. The Book of Enoch and Ancient Texts. While Genesis gives us only a whispered hint of this cosmic rebellion, other ancient texts speak more boldly. The Book of Enoch, considered scripture by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and referenced in the New Testament book of Jude, tells us, "And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children." Enoch names these celestial beings watchers, 200 angels led by Semjaza and Azazel, who left their own habitation, descending to Mount Hermon, where they bound themselves by mutual curses to fulfill their forbidden desire. The Dead Sea Scrolls confirm this tradition in the Book of Giants, describing how these divine beings taught humans forbidden knowledge. The arts of weaponry, cosmetics, sorcery, root cuttings, and astrology. Knowledge the cosmos was not yet ready to bear. What drove these luminous beings to abandon heavenly glory? The texts speak of an overwhelming desire, a yearning so powerful it overcame their divine nature. As our source text poetically describes, their hearts, afire with a yearning that defied celestial decree, dared to dream of realms Section 4. The Descent. Beneath the silent gaze of eternity, these suns, luminous as the first dawn, unbound their wings and descended like comets, carving trails of radiant rebellion across the firmament. This was not a fall in shame like Lucifer's. This was a willful descent driven by desire, a choice to exchange immortal glory for mortal love. The Midrashic tradition tells us that as these celestial beings descended, they were transformed. Their light dimmed, their divine nature compromised, as they took on physical form to walk among the daughters of men. Yet they did not lose their power. Unlike mortals formed from dust, these were beings crafted from the fire of divine will. Their knowledge and abilities far surpassed human capacity, and in their union with humans, they created something unprecedented in cosmic history. A lineage neither fully divine nor fully human. As Genesis cryptically states, they were the heroes of old, men of renown. The Greek Septuagint translation calls them giants. The Hebrew text names them Nephilim, the fallen ones. But these were not merely physical giants, they were hybrid beings, carrying celestial fire within mortal flesh. Section 5. The Forbidden Kingdom. In the cradle of forgotten dreams, beneath the shadowed canopy of the world, they sought the daughters of men. From the dust they were forbidden to touch. They wove a lineage, birthing thrones hidden in shadow and sorrow. What kingdom did these fallen celestial beings and their offspring build? Ancient traditions worldwide speak of an antediluvian civilization of unprecedented advancement. The Book of Enoch describes vast cities built with superhuman knowledge, where the hybrid children of heaven and earth reigned as god-kings. In Sumerian texts we read of the Apkallu, 7 sages of divine origin who brought civilization to humanity before the Great Flood. In Greek mythology, the Titans, children of heaven and earth, ruled a golden age before being overthrown. These traditions may be echoes of a historical reality. A pre-flood civilization, guided by beings with knowledge beyond human capacity, who taught mankind secrets of construction, astronomy, metallurgy, and arts the world had never seen. This forbidden kingdom, built on cosmic transgression, represented a fundamental disruption in the divine order. As our text states, the stars mourned, singing the hymns of a fractured heavenscape, while unseen realms shivered with the weight of divine dissonance. Segment 6. The Judgment. The divine response to this cosmic rebellion is recorded across multiple ancient texts. Genesis tells us that the corruption of flesh caused God to limit human lifespan to 120 years, but the judgment extended far beyond mortals. The heavens roared with thunder as divine justice fell, not with regret, but with a fury that split the mountains and drowned the world in divine sorrow. This was not a mere correction, but a cosmic reset. The tears of God manifesting as the deluge that would cleanse creation of its corrupted offspring. According to the Book of Enoch, the Most High commanded the archangel Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness. Make an opening in the desert, and cast him therein. And place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever. For the other watchers, Enoch records that God commanded Michael, "Go, bind Semjaza and his associates, who have united themselves with women, bind them for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, until the day of their judgment and of their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated." The offspring of this forbidden union, the mighty Nephilim, perished in the waters of the great flood, their physical forms destroyed, but their spirits remaining. As the Book of Jubilees states, "And he destroyed all from their places, and there was not left one of them whom he judged not according to all their wickedness. And he made for all his works a new and righteous nature, so that they should not sin in their whole nature forever." Segment 7, The Enduring Legacy. Yet the ancient texts suggest something profound, that the kingdom built by these celestial rebels was not completely destroyed. Their influence continues to echo through human history. And somewhere within the veiled whispers of the cosmos, their dominion endures. Not fallen, merely waiting, an echo of the first rebellion. The Book of Enoch tells us that though the physical bodies of the Nephilim were destroyed, their spirits continued as evil spirits that shall rise up against the children of men and against the women, because they have proceeded from them. In the New Testament, when Jesus and his disciples cast out demons, could they have been confronting these disembodied spirits of the antediluvian world? Even more provocatively, in the Book of Numbers, when Moses sent spies into Canaan, they reported seeing Nephilim. "We saw the Nephilim there, the descendants of Anak, who come from the Nephilim." This suggests that some of these beings may have survived the flood, perhaps explaining why so many ancient cultures maintained traditions of gods who walked among men, who taught divine secrets, and who established ruling dynasties that claimed divine right through celestial bloodlines. The throne of the forgotten kingdom still casts a shadow across history. And in that shadow, echoes stir. They are not myths, they are memories, too ancient for history, too divine for time. Segment 8. The Invitation. The final movement in this cosmic symphony is perhaps the most profound. For woven through the judgment, there remains a whisper of invitation. "Return," the voice implores, "to the place where the stars remember your song, to the grace that never falters." These celestial beings who chose exile for love may yet find redemption. The divine decree spoke not only of judgment, but of restoration, a return to the harmony that once bound heaven and earth. What if your longing, the ache you've always felt when gazing at the stars, was the same yearning that once moved angels to fall? What if your story is their echo, playing out across generations, a cosmic memory written in the very atoms of your being? Even for the sons of dust, we who are born of the very material these celestial beings longed to embrace, there remains an invitation to rise beyond our earthly nature, to hear once more the cosmic symphony that sang creation into being. The question lingered, suspended in the sacred silence. In the end, what echoes louder, the fall or the return? The biblical narrative is not merely a historical account, but a cosmic drama of which we are all part. A story of rebellion and redemption, of beings who chose love over glory, and of a creator who weaves even transgression into the tapestry of ultimate restoration. What if the veil between worlds is thinner than we imagine? What if the kingdom these celestial beings built still exists, not in ruins of stone, but in the very fabric of human history and destiny? Perhaps the most profound question is not what happened to these sons of heaven, but what their story reveals about our own cosmic significance. Caught as we are between dust and divinity, between the temporal and the eternal, the whisper of forgotten stars invites us to listen more deeply, to discern the echoes of our own creation in the breathless hush before first light. And beneath the silent gaze of eternity, the question lingers: can the sons of dust rise to meet their destiny, to mend what was broken, and to sing once more with the heavenly choir?